All right, Beetlejuice. Finally, the full look at what we may get in a couple of months. What did I think? Well, I was surprisingly fairly on board for most of the trailer. Now, I disagree with some people who are both positive and critical. They're applauding Michael Keaton. I'm a big Keaton fan, so not a hater of the Keaton. However, he did look a little different. A lot of people say he didn't age. No, he aged. He aged a lot. So it's obviously a little weird, but then Beetlejuice is a fairly odd entity, so the fact that he aged naturally doesn't bother me, but it was a little distracting. The visual look was hit or miss for some of the characters. That said, some of the new people, as well as the general aesthetic, was very, very pleasing. Not disappointed for the most part. That said, we have to be a little critical, and this is a major dilemma for any sequel: is you have to hit some familiar territory to please the hardcore fans, but you got to do some new things, otherwise even the hardcore fans are going to be a little bit bored. So they did go through some catchphrases, familiar tropes, right? The sandworm, and of course, many other things that you would expect from a Beetlejuice sequel. So the obvious dilemma is, did they do enough new things to really excite me? Well, I'm half excited, but also half disappointed because the exciting part are the new people, including Willem Dafoe and Monica. They definitely look amazing. They have a very individual look, which is really needed for Beetlejuice. A lot of individuality is needed for this film. And I was worried that without Gina Davis or Alec Baldwin, unless they make cameos, we're going to have a big gap in the plot. It seems what's going to happen is Beetlejuice is going to cause trouble, and simultaneously, Willem Dafoe, for whatever reason, is going to be hunting Beetlejuice. So it seems like a kind of bifurcated story. Am I worried? No, because I do think Jenny Ortega is a very good actress. And I do think there's enough time passing that it's just curious. What is Beetlejuice up to? Has he really changed? He's always been this very chaotic agent. Not really good or evil. He's just there to cause a lot of trouble. And he's very mischievous. So even though I am very positive for the most part, the worry is that Tim Burton has an interesting career. Like the first third, roughly Beetlejuice, Pee Wee Herman, Batman technically, very powerful, very strong. Then he does Batman Returns. Seems he can't do anything wrong. But then it's not a slump, but the middle Burton didn't excite me that much. Like the last Burton thing I really saw that was fun for me was Big Fish, and that was okay. It wasn't amazing. So I've been kind of on and off with Burton. So he seems to have lost his touch. Again, his Planet of the Apes, interesting, but not really up there with his early work. So late Burton, not in decline, but just seems to have flatlined. So I don't know. It's very tricky. So the trailer was impressive. I do think it answered a lot of questions. It it doesn't make me worried. That said, I'm not eager to see this the first day. I'm probably going to wait a while, see other people's reactions. So the trailer itself is pretty strong. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I am very interested to see what they're going to do. That said, I am worried that they're going to fall back on familiar territory and just give us a very plain story of like, oh, they unleashed Beetlejuice and they got to get the genie back in the bottle. And we're like, right, we did that before. But maybe they'll do something pretty amazing that they've not revealed in the trail and be like, oh no, it's going in a much more crazy direction. One can only hope.